Hi, and welcome back to day 3. Today we'll look at how you can really program your habits so you can achieve those results you want. Now, often when we think about programming habits, we tend to think about some of the things we don't want to be doing. Things like when you maybe have a piece of chocolate and then the first time you have it, it tastes really nice. And then you find that next time you're feeling a bit tired or stressed, you have another piece. And then before you know it, every day you're having a piece of chocolate and suddenly you develop this habit of eating chocolate every day. And that's great, but maybe you don't want to be doing that every day. Maybe you want to stop that habit. So when we think about it, nearly everything we do, whether it's good or bad, is something at some point that we learned how to do. And we really are like big computers that actually learn. We are like a supercomputer that has these whole programs that we run behind the scenes without ever thinking about it. A lot of these habits are really good. They're the ones that we want to be doing, the ones where we get up in the morning and we don't feel right and stepping out into the world until we've actually had a shower or brushed our teeth. These are all sort of good habits. They kind of keep us kind of nice and clean and smelling nice. But some of these other habits that we don't want, these are habits we want to change. Now the good news is that every habit, good or bad, at some point you learned how to do it through repetition. And repetition here is the key. The more you do something again and again, the more likely you're going to keep doing it again and again. So the way to get yourself into a new habit is to find a way of rewarding yourself for doing the things you actually want to do. So I mentioned here that there was a comedian called Jerry Seinfeld who he had a very simple habit. He was asked by someone, how do you become so good as a comedian? And he said, well, I write a joke every day. And he said, what I do is I have a calendar and every day I write my joke and I put a nice big cross on the calendar. And this then's like, good, I've done that today. And the next day I do the same. And after a while, there started to be this chain of crosses. And it got to the stage where I didn't want to not do it because it would break my chain. So he got into the habit of writing jokes every day, and by actually making himself do this, it became easier for him to keep it going. And it's the same whatever it is you might want to achieve. If you want to write a book, you'd be like my husband. He writes every day. Every day he sits on his laptop and he writes for half an hour at a time. And he's written pages. Now, I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it's any good, but when I glance over his shoulder and occasionally read a few lines, it looks really good. So I'm very excited to see how it's going to come out. But he's probably written several books by now because he's been doing this for quite a while. So it's all about finding the starting point, having your system that you build it around, and then finding a way to keep that habit going. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about habits because we really want to do things that are easy. And if your habit maybe was to become fit and go to the gym every day, it's very easy in the first day or so to be motivated. You buy your new gym membership and you get maybe your new kind of trainers and your new kind of wonderful kind of sports gear you're going to wear, and you go to the gym. And the first few times you have that motivation behind because it's new and so you want to start doing it. But then after a while it starts to get a little bit more complicated because what happens is you're feeling a bit tired. You think, oh, I'm just going to skip one day. Or maybe I'll get up and I'll just check my phone first, and suddenly you lost time and now you've got to get to work and you haven't got time to get there. So with habits, they discovered, this kind of research discovered, that if it takes more than 20 seconds to get started, the chances are you're not going to do it. So if you're trying to achieve something like going to the gym, the best thing to do is to have your gym clothes ready beside the bed, so when you wake up, the first thing you do is throw on your gym clothes, you go to the gym, you do your exercise, you're done, and it's out of the way. Whereas if you get up and you start having a drink and you start thinking what we're going to wear today, and which leggings should I put on, or where's my t-shirt, what I've done for trainers, where are my keys, the chances are that takes you longer than 20 seconds. You're going to find excuses to do something different. Now, I'm often working with clients to help them change habits. I was working with this one lady and she loved chocolate. Now, you'd think, okay, if you know chocolate's your weakness, why buy it? Well, she had young children and she actually wanted to be able to allow her husband and her children to have the occasional treat, but she wanted to stop herself. So the solution became quite easy. It was there in the kitchen, it was very easy to get to. And her solution was to move it upstairs. And what this meant was, in order to go and get some chocolate, She would have to leave where she was sitting downstairs, go all the way upstairs. She actually put it in the top of a cupboard. And it meant it took a long 20 seconds to do this. So when it came to that time where she'd normally grab something, she just couldn't be bothered. It's one of those things where, do you know what? I can't be bothered to go upstairs and get it. I'll just leave it for another day. This is her way of breaking the habit. So it's worthwhile thinking, if there's something you want to do, what can you do to make it easy? What can you do to make it a nice, simple thing you can do quickly and easy so you're getting in that habit of doing it? But then, how are you going to reward yourself for doing it? Now, if you're saving money, it might be you're going to spend that money in a certain way, maybe buy a new car, go on holiday, and you've got the reward at the end. But that end might appear to be so far in the future. You need to think of how you can reward yourself now. Now, it could be as simple as you get up and go to the gym, you come home and your reward is a lovely hot shower afterwards and you feel fantastic and that's your reward. It could be that when you get back you decide to then have a nice leisurely breakfast. But your reward needs to be quick and easy. Remember that little 20-second rule? We like to do things as simple, that are there, that are our reach. So if your reward is marking something on the calendar, put it somewhere visible. Put it somewhere where you can put your nice tick or your big X. So you're making it simple for yourself. The easier it is to do, the more likely you're to do it, and the more likely you're going to repeat it. And the more you repeat it, it then becomes a habit. So that's our message for day 3. Let's program our minds in the right way by having a system that works, but by doing a habit that you can then reward yourself in a very small, simple way. Whether that's a tick on the calendar, a nice hot shower, a wonderful, nice warm coffee for breakfast, whatever's going to be a reward for you. But a simple, easy reward that you can do in minutes. Because if it's too long, you're just not going to do it. I mean, that all makes sense. Again, I'd love to hear how you're getting on with this. I'd love to hear what you've chosen to do to reward yourself. Keep it simple. Feel free to comment down below. As always, feel free to email me. And I'll see you again for day 4. See you soon. Bye.